Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Christmas as much as I did. Today we're at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. Now today's show is devoted to our top stories of 2017. We had a really tough time narrowing the list. Join me now as we reflect on the past year. I'm Davia Chambers and the Let's Talk Tobago Year in Review special starts now. We say farewell to former Chief Secretary Orville London, and later the Queen of Calypso is honored with the World Music Award. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues. We'll be right back.
Come, there we go to Tobago, that paradise, Bombay, Robinson Crusoe, and it is said it's the land of tomorrow. Princess Margaret say, come Tobago for holiday. Now the whole world say, come Tobago for holiday.
We kick off 2018 with a gem of a hotel for this episode, Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, formerly known as Tobago Plantations. Now this hotel changed its name to Magdalena 6 years ago. Let's take a trip down memory lane to when we said farewell to outgoing Chief Secretary Orville London, who served the Tobago House of Assembly for 16 years. Caroline Wallace has this story.
He's led at the Tobago House of Assembly as Chief Secretary since 2001. And after 16 years of service in that position, Orville London has retired. But before he officially left, THA assemblymen, administrators, family, friends, and other well-wishers gathered at Cafe Coco to say farewell.
And although the number of years vary, one of the things that we all agree on is that he has maintained the honor and integrity of this institution, and more so, he was always very intent on us doing the same thing. I know that I can say boldly that it was a significant learning curve for all of us.
Mr. London was described as a leader who was never easily ruffled, one who listens intently and takes suggestions.
He evaluates before he says anything. He's very deliberate, and above all, he is very bright. I am very pleased to have worked 8 years with Orville. I have not met another person in my life that I respect and I admire as Orville London. To me, he is the best secretary, best chief secretary or chairman of the Tobago House of Assembly, the best leader that the Tobago House of Assembly has ever had.
And this is how the guest of honor responded to the outpouring of gratitude.
I did what I had to do. I enjoyed doing it. And I derived a certain degree of satisfaction from knowing that I was able to make a difference in the lives of people.
Mr. London thanked everyone who impacted his life over the 16 years he governed the island.
And to love, pure and chaste from afar, to try.
I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Magdalena was the original name of Tobago, which came from one of Christopher Columbus's ships. The name pays homage to the island's rich history, tradition, and people. So the Tobago House of Assembly also welcomed a new administration. The Assembly held its 10th inauguration ceremony at the Assembly Chamber. Omadara Mills was there for the ceremony, and she brings us this report.
I, Kelvin Charles, do swear by Almighty God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago and will uphold the Constitution and the law, that I will conscientiously, impartially, and to the best of my ability discharge my duties as Chief Secretary and do right to all manner of people without fear or favor, affection or ill will.
Taking his oath of office is the new Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Kelvin Charles. Mr. Charles's party, the People's National Movement, holds the majority in the Assembly due to its 10-2 victory in the 2017 THA elections. He is now the area representative for Blackrock Whim Spring Garden. Some familiar faces have returned. They are Joel Jack, who retained his Bacalet Mount St. George seat. Mr. Jack was also appointed Deputy Chief Secretary. Ansel Dennis returns as both area representative for Buku Mount Pleasant and Deputy Presiding Officer. Jomo Pitt represents Lambo Signal Hill once again. Sheldon Cunningham was sworn in as the Providence Mason Hall Moriah area representative, while Hayden Spencer narrowly got the nod for Goodwood Bell Garden following a recount. Some new faces have been added to the Assembly lineup. They are Marcelin Melville Jack, area representative for Scarborough Calder Hall; Mauricia Osmond of Plymouth Golden Lane, Shamari Hector, Bethel Mount Irvin, and Clarence Jacob, Canaan Bonaccord. Unlike the previous THA election, there is now a minority in the Assembly. Mr. Watson Duke received his instrument of appointment as minority leader of the THA from President Anthony Carmona. His party, the Progressive Democratic Patriots, won 2 out of the 12 seats. Mr. Duke was sworn in as the area representative for Roxborough Delaford, and Farley Augustine is the new area representative for the Speyside Lansfomie Palotovia district. 3 councillors were sworn in on the advice of the Chief Secretary. They are Nadine Stewart Phillips, Kwesi Devines, and Agatha Carrington, while 1 councillor, Dr. Faith B. Israel, was sworn in on the advice of the minority leader. In his address to the Assembly, President Carmona encouraged both sides of the House to work together for the benefit of Tobagonians.
The solution is a simple one. This tired philosophy of service to politics must be replaced by service leadership. We are so busy appealing to the politics and the politician when we should be appealing to the human being in the politician. Ladies and gentlemen, the creation of a holistic dialogue in our republic must be entrenched in our philosophy of governance, postulated and practiced on the altar of service leadership and not, and I repeat, not power leadership.
Former Councillor Dr. Denise Soefat Angus will serve the Assembly as presiding officer. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
All good things must come to an end, including vacations. Taking a piece of Tobago home with you, such as art, craft, jewelry, or souvenirs, is a great way to keep those memories alive. And keepsakes are the specialty of Tobago charms. Now it's a story meteorologists have been looking forward to for a long time, as the island opened a brand new spanking meteorological services facility. It's changing the way the island looks at the weather. Have a look.
It took a while, but Tobago finally got a dedicated home for the meteorological services for the island, and by extension the country. With this, the island can be better prepared for any weather-related disaster. The unit is also outfitted with the latest weather technology.
Cabinet in September of 2007 agreed to the construction of a new meteorological services building at the A&R Robinson International Airport, adjacent to the Fire Services Department. And construction of this building began in February 2015 with a sod turning ceremony right here on this spot.
Chief Secretary Orville London praised the central government for this investment in Tobago. He said now Tobago can be notified of any disaster in a timely fashion.
I don't think any of us can undervalue the importance of this facility and the significance of this particular event. I think all of us in Tobago, in all small islands, recognize how very vulnerable we are to natural disasters. And therefore, anything that assists in ensuring that we have timely warning that will improve our disaster preparedness is something, of course, that has to be appreciated.
According to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, despite the economy being up and down, the newly constructed Met Centre will serve a great purpose for Tobago and the national economy. And so, they are willing to continue to invest in the island.
We are committed to making these kinds of investments in Tobago because the returns are going to be beneficial to Tobago and the national economy.
This modern building is outfitted with the latest international ICT and smart technology, which more than meets international standards. The building is located at Cromston Trace in Crown Point. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but when we return, Calypso Rose is awarded the World Music Award. Don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
Times. Summer car done, summer car, 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 summer car done, yeah, summer car.
There's something for everyone at the Magdalena Grande Beach and Golf Resort. For the little ones, there's CC's Kids Club, which caters to children between the ages of 4 and 10 during the day. Your little ones can enjoy arts and craft, music club, and supervised visits to the playground and the pool. Now, the Queen of Calypso and the daughter of the soil, Calypso Rose, brought even more pride to these shores in 2017 as she copped the World Music Album of the Year, the French equivalent of a Grammy Award, for her latest offering, Far From Home. We have all the details in this next report. Take a look.
Leave me, let me free up. Me step, let me jump up.
Calypso Queen is a song you'll hear on Calypso Rose's latest album entitled Far From Home. It's a compilation that's won the World Album of the Year award at the Victoire de la Musique Awards ceremony in France, the French equivalent to a Grammy Award. In her acceptance speech, Calypso Rose thanked her agent Jean-Michel Guibert and her producer on the album, Ivan Duran. The veteran Calypsonian also remembered her roots.
I want to thank my government of Trinidad and Tobago and all my fans all over the world.
Et donc elle veut remercier toute sa communauté de fans à travers
They
le
have
monde.
kept me going.
Il l'aide à continuer.
With the beautiful music and the vibrations I give them.
Far From Home was initially released in June of last year under the Because Music label. It sold over 60,000 copies in France. Now, No Madame is another song on the album. It's a remix of the 1969 version. The song criticized the treatment of servants and was deemed as a motivating factor that helped change policies for better working conditions.
Working as a domestic, quite in Princess Town, but the madam she had me sick, the way how she's getting on. As you reach in the morning, holding me name calling, she too miserable. Anything she want me to do is rose. You wash up your wares, no madam. You clean down the stairs, no madam. You polish the floor, no madam.
In 1977, Calypso Rose became the first woman to win the Road March competition with her song Tempo. A year later, she won the Calypso King competition, which then had to be renamed the Calypso Monarch competition. Over the years, the Tobago House of Assembly has honored this Bethel-born Calypsonian. At Tobago Day celebrations in December, Calypso Rose received the Tobago Medal of Honor Gold for distinguished and outstanding service in the sphere of culture, Calypso. The Assembly also established the Calypso Rose Award. The award is presented to a deserving and promising cultural artist on Tobago Day. Far From Home was released in Trinidad and Tobago in November last year. The 76-year-old plans to continue performing her songs such as Albertina, and Leave Me Alone. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Christmas at the Magdalena Grand is a special one. On Christmas Day, over 500 guests were treated to brunch here at the Magdalena Hotel. Guests got to celebrate Christmas with their second family here in Tobago. Entrepreneurs of the Argyle community now have a place to call home as the Argyle Micro Enterprise Center was officially opened. Here are the details.
It's located on the Wynwood beachfront, has 8 booths, and external seating for patrons. The Argyle Micro Enterprise Center has been officially opened by the Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor.
8 businessmen have been given the opportunity to join the growing numbers of entrepreneurs in Tobago East. The services offered at this center range from stationery to the creative industry and entertainment. Argyle now joins the communities of Calder Hall, Plymouth Adventure and Signal Hill in the establishment of micro-enterprise centers.
The opening of this center is in keeping with the Assembly's goal to diversify Tobago's economy and build a robust private sector. The hope is that the center develops into a preferred hub of activity within Tobago East.
I want to encourage all the persons, all 8 of you who were successful in becoming tenants at this facility, to make the best opportunity you have. I have every confidence that once you work hard to develop your business, and as my colleague, Secretary Melville, Master Melville Jack said, to mind your business, the possibilities of success are endless.
And a call is being made for young Tobagonians to take up the mantle of entrepreneurship.
Carol Hazel of Carol Hazel Designs, who I understand is into garment construction and also does tutoring, is barely older than 20 years. Because it is not very often that you have young persons like Carol who are prepared to come forward and lead the way. We want more of our young persons to do that.
The next Micro Enterprise Center will be opened in Plymouth Adventure. It's expected to be commissioned by the end of the year. I'm Keishon Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
For many people, when you're on vacation, it's the food and drinks that make the occasion. At Magdalena Grand, guests have many options. For a more casual feel, check the Salaka Grill at the poolside. There's fine dining at Kalina, even burgers and fries at Robinson Crusoe. If you're not keen on heading out, let's not forget about room service. Tobago's cultural art forms are in safe hands. The island is seeking to ensure this continues with the coming generations. So there's a push to establish an arts academy for Tobago. The details are in this report.
Calypso and the speech band are staples in Tobago's traditional oral culture. Now performers can gain certification in this aspect of our heritage. But a curriculum in the oral traditions is just one part of the Tobago Indigenous and Traditional Arts Academy that the Department of Culture is creating. Certified courses for drumming, folk singing and folk dancing are also being developed so that people can have accreditation in these areas as well.
When we certify these persons now can teach professionally these different art forms. When I say professionally, they're already doing it professionally. In some instances, it's just about certification, evaluation and certification, because we have a lot of traditional knowledge bearers who will be the ones assisting in this area. Right? So those benefits is about bringing value to what we already do.
While the academy will target professionals, attention will also be given to training teachers who will then train students at several schools.
Because anytime you talk certification of a particular art form, what you are doing is, in essence, preserving in a way. Because everyone that have a certificate in that, it gives people a more sense of value of what this is. We are also speaking about the fact about opening up that opportunity whereby you of yourself might be asked probably to come and do a workshop somewhere up the island or something. So it's about creating that space where employment can be had.
The duration of the courses will vary from 6 weeks to 6 months. With further development of the programs, it is planned that people from other Caribbean islands can come and be certified in the traditional art forms.
This is part of the Creative and Cultural Industries Trust, right? Because what it speaks to is about education, but it is about educational tourism and research tourism, right? Because that is what we are doing. We are forming a bedrock for that kind of tourism. And I think that is most important for us.
The THA's Department of Culture will be facilitating the courses in collaboration with the National Training Agency and the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. The Oral Traditions course for the Train the Teachers component is expected to begin this month. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's now time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear what you, the viewers, have to say. Today we're asking, what's one improvement you would like to make in 2018? While you think about it, we'll have a look at who had their say this week.
In 2018, I would like to be more financially stable. I wish for good health and strength for me and my children, and to just, have a fruitful and blessed, happy 2018.
I want to get all my grades up and get everything correct. I would like to do good in 2018 and do good in my schoolwork and help my parents.
I just deal with children, so I would like the children and the parents and them to be more positive of what is going around them, and to learn more and read more and do more activities.
I would like to do better in my schoolwork and get better grades.
I just try to do the best and hope that God wish me a long and prosperous life.
We close yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We close now with a montage of the Christmas decorations in a few popular places in Tobago. We hope you enjoy.
Fellow Tobagonians, as we usher in the new year, we also usher in a time of hope, compassion, peace, and goodwill. It is a time of new beginnings, as well as a time to settle unresolved matters and move forward. As your Chief Secretary, I am pleased to be given the gracious task of leading the Tobago House of Assembly. It is a duty I take very seriously as I work alongside your committed area representatives and assemblymen to put Tobago first. My brothers and sisters, it is prudent for us to learn from the mistakes and challenges of the past in order to chart the course of our future. I have witnessed the collective resilience and dedication of Tobagonians who are determined to see this island develop both socially and economically. We have the capacity to be a strong, determined, and proud people who remain deeply rooted in our rich heritage, traditions, and culture. Our strong sense of community has always been a way of life for us. We have, for the most part, successfully remained deeply rooted in our value systems. However, while we remain well-intentioned and purpose-driven in charting a sustainable course for Tobago, we are also cognizant of the economic challenges our nations continue to face. This economic downturn has resulted in the cutting of expenditure in several areas, while forcing us to critically re-examine our country's fiscal position and policies based on a strategic needs analysis. This is geared towards prioritizing our expenditure, thereby ensuring that we get maximum value for money spent. The Tobago House of Assembly has recognized the need for sustainable development and as such has been making significant progress in the agricultural and tourism sectors. We have been critically reviewing these sectors as we prepare to develop and expand both sectors to meet their full potential, create jobs and foster business and economic development, and encourage entrepreneurship aimed at generating and supplementing economic activity in Tobago. In the last year, we have undertaken a review of the tourism marketing and promotion strategy in a bid to realize maximum benefits and to reaffirm its position as a critical economic driver for this island. Additionally, we have also undertaken an extensive review of our agricultural policy in the interest of getting more persons involved in farming and producing. This is geared towards positioning and expanding the sector so as to generate greater incomes and facilitate job creation. Brothers and sisters, we have been working to improve our healthcare and education systems. I am particularly pleased with the initiative to provide enrichment classes to our students who were underperforming at the C level. This program is proving to be quite a success as parents, teachers, and students are beginning to see tangible results. My fellow Tobagonian, even as we in the Assembly seek to honor our mandate to you and this island, it is critical that you understand that we cannot do it alone. It is important to take an all-hands-on-deck approach. Therefore, your participation and support are imperative to this process. One of the key aspects is that of productivity. I wish to further emphasize that we must take our individual jobs seriously. Let us do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. We must work with integrity, diligence, and a sense of pride. Our youth are watching. Children learn most effectively by example and not from what they are told. These times require us as a people to be hopeful, to remain positive and strong in the face of adversity. I believe that every Tobagonian has a contribution to make. No one is more important or less important than the other. We must all stand in faith for a better tomorrow, remembering the biblical definition of faith, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. My brothers and sisters, let us labor in love and not count the cost. We must lay the foundation for our future generations as we seek to build a solid legacy. We are part of a Twin Island state. Therefore, we must work to build not only Tobago, but the entire nation, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. It is important that we remain focused and motivated. Tobagonians are strong-willed people. Just look at some of those great Tobagonians who have been written into the history books of this nation. In closing, I wish to assure you that we in the Tobago House of Assembly remain wholeheartedly committed to ensuring that Tobago prospers and that we continue to maintain a meaningful partnership with the central government, state agencies, and non-governmental organizations to realize the successful delivery of services to those residing in Tobago. I leave you with this relevant quote. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Tony Robbins. My brothers and sisters, I wish you a prosperous and God-filled new year. May God continue to richly bless Tobago and our great nation of Trinidad and Tobago.